Hello and welcome to Rust, Chronicles of the Bandit King, Part 23. Scavenging and Scouting. So, we're getting fairly late into this cycle of Rust, and it's becoming increasingly harder to find decent bases to raid. By that I mean something that will cost me about 8 C4 and I'll get the equivalent of about 12 back. Basically everything that's left is going to cost me a lot more. And while I was out on a scouting mission, as you can see here, I managed to acquire some materials. I found this guy. Just happened to wake up the instant I wanted to execute him. Couldn't believe it. But you'll see how I got all that material slightly later on. But first, it's time for just a little bit of PvP action. I did help this guy out. You know, I was gonna just sort of give him a hug and give him some food, but well, you'll see what goes on. So this next section of PvP was actually taken during my first stage of scouting for this base, that you can just see me zoom in on there. But I wasn't the only one looking at it. And I come across Kado, our good old friend Kado. And there was some exchange of fire, shall we say. And basically at this point, without losing too much face, we both left the area. We both parted ways. And I was typing to him in chat later on, and he said he had run out of ammo. And as you can see, I'd also ran out of ammo. So it would have probably gone down to the hatchets if we had carried on. But anyway, back to the actual scouting. So some people just seem to think that I get my videos through, I go on Rust and then just hit the record button and bang, I magic a raid. No, a raid can take several hours to produce sometimes, and this is what happens. I spend the time and I'll go out around the map. I will look for new buildings, and this building is a particularly new building. I've not encountered it before. It doesn't appear to have been raided. Now, all I'm doing is I'm just walking around the outside. I'm trying to hear if there's any doors opening, any obvious player activity, like can I hear any furnaces going or anything like that. On the outside, is the furnace operated? You know, are there is there stuff inside the furnace? Anything that will give me an indication as to how recent it's been used and whether or not it has actually been raided and someone's merely put the door back on. This raid looked like it was going to be fairly interesting, so hopefully this will appear in a video on the weekend coming, or maybe later on next week. I've managed to locate two bases of similar design, and from what I can tell, it appears mainly to be a 2x2x3, and it's just got a 2x1x3 over each wall, acting as sort of like a honeycombing system. but square, so more like a hull system. It was quite interesting. Now, scavenging is kind of like, it's obviously you're going to run around and pick stuff off the floor. So I'll tell you my priority system. My priority system is if I see a boar, I will kill it and skin it. Because at the minute, one bolt action round will down a boar, and you'll get 41 fat out of it. And it will take 7 bolt action rounds to down a bear, and you only get 100 out of it for that 7. So if you can kill 3 boars, it's more cost effective. Then I move on to the sulfur that's on the floor, then the wood that's on the floor, and the hemp. But I don't go out of my way to pick up hemp or wood. I will go out of my way to kill a boar, and I will go out of my way to pick up the sulfur ore. And it is a very, very efficient way of doing this. Just go outside with nothing other than a hatchet, bandage, bolt action, building plan. That's just in case the helicopter comes round, which is why you're picking up the wood, and a bone knife, and you got yourself set. You can go out for half an hour, come back with about 2,000 sulfur and about 1,000 low-grade fuel to get your machinery running. Now you'll see me walking around in circles outside this building, and those of you who have raided with me and who are eagle-eyed will have noticed that I move in and out of the building cupboard range. So I'm trying to determine which side the building cupboard is on and whether or not it's on the ground floor. Now, from what I gathered from that little run around, it's more likely to be, as you look at the front door, on the right hand side of the building, closer to the front, and I'm pretty sure it's on the ground floor. So I might come back and raid that one again later, but I think I would rather go in from the top. So if I do raid that base, I will be going straight for the tool cupboard and then going up on the outside, then in through the ceiling, because that would be more efficient than trying to piss around on the interior once you're there. And here I'm just having a look around. I'm not really doing anything interesting in this video. By now you've probably realised that. So this is literally, it's not so much a noob's guide video because it doesn't really cover much of the of that. But anyway, I finally make it back to the base I was scouting earlier. And little beknown to me that actually, as you can probably tell on the right hand side of your screen, it has actually already been raided. So this goes to sort of like a phase 2 scavenging effect at this point. It's kind of just damage control. All the good stuff's been taken. There might be something left. I mean, most people will chuck stuff on the floor, or they might destroy all the boxes. Sometimes in a raid like this, you get lucky and they've missed a crate, or they've not looked in, a furnace or something, or there might have just simply been not enough time and too much loot for them to worry about all of those things. They might have left stuff behind. So we're going to have a little look around this base now, and Canyoneer, if you're watching this, yes, I was going to raid this base, but that's only because I know Kado was going to do it, and I suspect that he's the one who done this. I would like to just sort of start off by saying I'm really sorry that the content has been less than standard recently. I've been struggling dramatically with trying to find decent raids and sort of decent content in general to produce. That's primarily down to this being so late in the server cycle. You know, it's going to be reset as soon as there is a major update, so that could be anytime soon, as we all know the XP system's in the test stage at the minute, and there's only so long they can put that off for. So really these last two videos have been sort of a desperate attempt at trying to produce something that was Bandit King worthy, and what I ended up producing was a failed raid and a scavenging raid, which is less than ideal. But the scavenging raids do have their perks. I mean, you get to have a look around other base designs, how other people have, you know, managed to break in. Perhaps you can use this as a tutorial for yourself if you ever come across them, to sort of see how there could be potentially weaknesses in your own base. And on top of that, you know, you do find the odd bit of items, you know, and you will find the odd naked sleeper in them with, you know, some items on them as well, because not every player is going to chuck absolutely everything on the floor. And for example, the first box I opened in this one had a metal face mask and the second one had a Thompson, so a scavenge raid here was actually pretty decent, and I do come away with some fairly decent resource out of this one. So I am sorry, I have been trying to find something worth raiding, but it's just not happening. We've raided everything on the server. Between me, Loin, Kado, Soag, I think we're the only real raiders on the server. I think everyone else is just trying to survive. So yeah, there's not really anything to show you until we have another influx of players on the server. And the server goes through its sort of, you know, like every other server, there'll be an influx of players and then all of a sudden there's something for us to do. The problem is we get so overexcited about it, so we have a tendency to ram so much C4 up their nostrils 5 seconds into them spawning that they don't want to play on the server. We kind of feel that's sort of them just, well, you're being fucking women, you know, you're being girls about it. It's Rust. It's going to happen. At some point I will log into my base and it will be raided. I'm fully aware of this. At the minute though, that doesn't seem to be happening. I mean, I've now gone this whole season of the Bandit King without being raided once. I had someone attempt to raid me, and they got stuck on the interior compound wall, and I didn't bother recording it. Well, I wish I had done at the time because it was actually quite amusing. But yes, as you can see, this is what's left of the server. A couple of scavenge raids and basically raids that are going to take in excess of 30 C4 to accomplish. And by now, Soag's base, which was in my previous video, will be so unraidable that it probably won't even be worth my time. Unless I can magic up another 60 or 70 rockets and just demolish the whole thing for shits and giggles. Which I would do if I had the access to that sort of rockets. But never mind. I am hoping to do a new noobs guide, obviously, when the XP system comes out, and I will be ending this season of the Bandit King. Yes, this season of the Bandit King will soon be over. As soon as the XP system is released, I will be adjusting my season to coincide. So you'll be seeing a whole new set of raids from the XP side of things, which should be quite interesting because, well, you get XP for killing people, and I'm the Bandit King. It's kind of what I do.